Welcome in to the Arkansas Sports Network's Hometown Sports Football Preview, proudly presented by Arkansas Tech University, D3 Auto Sales, and by Metcalf Trucking Company. Today we sit down with Little Rock Hall Warriors head coach Jim Withrow.
I'm here with Coach Jim Withrow of Hall High School here in Little Rock. Coach Withrow, this is a program that a few years ago was playing 8-man football, and you guys have moved back into 11-man, and so just tell me a little bit about what you guys are doing here in the off season, and just how that adjustment has been for this program from 8-man back to 11-man.
Well, it's kind of like our school was. We stripped the whole school down. We totally changed the faculty and the whole coaching staff and everything. And so, we kind of went to the very bottom enrollment-wise, and then we didn't have a lot of players. So that's why we went with 8-man football, and then we just rebuilt it like we would rebuild any other program. And our numbers are up. I think we're around 50 players right now. Our off-season was great, well attended, over 40 guys. Went through it, and then we've added some right here in the spring. And so, we're beginning to feel like a regular high school program now. I really believe last year, had we not had a couple of injuries late, we would have made a little run there late. But on the whole, I like where we're at as a program.
So, tell me a little bit about what you do with your team in the off season, just as far as picking that balance between hitting the weight room, getting your stuff down in practice, and 7-on-7s, team camps, things like that. Tell me what your philosophy is in the off season for your team.
Well, we want to do as much as we can, and we want to do as much teaching as we can. But the number one goal is to get stronger and faster, and we've done that. And but I also want the kids to participate in their sport that they choose to do, and I want them to be involved in school activities. So we've got some guys playing basketball, and the basketball team made the playoffs last year. We got some participating in track. The track team won the conference championship last year, but they've all come back faster and stronger. Of course, they're all a little bit older. We've been a really young team as far as high school standards go. But we've had moments. We've had a lineman camp, which we did all starting in February and March and through April. And then we had spring football. We got done with track. And so, pretty much the same thing everybody else does in off season. Coaches went to clinics and all the other stuff that goes along with it.
So, tell me a little bit about what you see the next step for this program being, where you guys want to be consistently. You mentioned that the numbers have been up with this team as far as just guys coming out and practicing and playing and getting acclimated to the team. So, tell me what the next step, and you mentioned a rebuild. Tell me what the next step for this rebuild is for you and your staff.
Well, I think the next step for us is to go make the playoffs. That's the next step for us. And part of it was, first of all, we need to learn how to compete. We need to learn how to practice and do those things. And we can do all those things now. And it's not, there's no misunderstanding of what we're trying to do. There's a standard way we practice, there's a standard way we lift weights, and now there's a standard of whether we're playing games. So I think going to the playoffs is the next step. We need to go ahead and take that step.
Tell me about your team's offense this season. What you guys will do with, as far as your scheme, what that will look like. And then tell me about your expectation for the group and maybe some guys that are you think had a good off season, or some guys that you're going to rely on to be leaders on the team.
Okay. Hayden Singleton's going to be our quarterback. And Hayden got hurt 7th game of the year. He was our backup last year and got hurt. So we were to our third quarterback week 7 or 8. And but Hayden is back, and Hayden participated on the conference winning track team. But Hayden's back. Tailback Rico Baker is back, and his backup John Cranford is back. Our slots are 2 guys that are back, Justin Dickerson and Joshan Cranford, both those guys are back. And then at receiver, we'll have a new X out there. It's probably going to be Jahari Scott. He's played a lot for us. And then the other one is going to be Connor Jackson. Connor's going to play tight end. He's going to split out some. So those guys have a lot of experience. Our whole offensive line is back. The center is John Cranford. Our left guard is Dylan Owen. And then our left tackle is Corday Akins. I think Corday is going to be one of the better players before that. Corday is 6'3", weighs 240, he runs under 5 flat. And he just looks good. He looks strong. Just a good-looking kid right now. And making a lot of plays here during camp season now. But and then our right tackle, our right guard is Caleb Woods. And then our right tackle is Trenton Gaines. And Trenton didn't play a lot last year. He started a few games here and there, but we returned most of our guys. We lost our quarterback in the slot that played quite a bit. Other than that, we returned a lot. And I do expect a lot out of those guys. The offensive line is still gelling. We've lost a couple of guys to transfer, but on the whole, we have the majority of the team back on the offensive side.
Mm-hmm. Tell me kind of the same stuff about your team defensively, just guys that you're expecting to have a good year, be leaders for your team, and then just what your expectations of the group and what you guys do on defense.
Well, we're a 40 front, and we'll adjust the front a little bit, but our defensive line is going to be a guy named Sergio Luna and Robert Webb will be our defensive tackles. Corday will be our defensive end. And then we're right now we're going with Kareem Brown and Valdez Ware at defensive end. Valdez is moving from linebacker to end. He's a fast guy. He's done a really good job in off season, and he's just a senior that he hasn't played a lot of football, but he's ready to play. We got to find a place to play. John Cranford and Rico Baker and Connor are our 3 linebackers. They do a really good job for us. I think we're going to be faster there. I think we're going to be faster up front as well. And then in the secondary, we return all those guys that played a lot. Sean Cranford and Jahari Scott up on the corner, and then Hayden and Dickerson and Jahar Farr will play at safety. And all of those guys are back. Farr and Hayden both picked off balls and returned for touchdowns last year. All of those guys are a lot stronger and a lot faster than they were a year ago. And, our team as a whole, the last few years we've had 4 seniors and 6 seniors total the last 2 years. This coming year we're going to have 20 seniors. So, we're an older football team. And we figured out a little bit of it. We still have a long ways to go. We're not where we need to be, but we're heading in the right direction.
Mm-hmm. So, tell me a little bit about what this campus and this community looks like on Friday nights, and just how they rally around the team. Like you said, it's been a rebuild, it's been a grind, but tell me about what this community has done to embrace this team and what it's like on Friday nights on this campus.
It's kind of interesting because the neighborhood likes the team. The neighborhood likes it, and they walk by and practice, and we sit right in the middle of this neighborhood here in Leewood, and they like the team, and they'll come around and they walk through. And we didn't see that when we first got in. We began to see that. We're beginning to see, a lot of alumni have really reached out to us and done some things. The alumni are really good last year. They bought us a 3rd jersey, and they still come to us. Whatever y'all need, just let us know. And it's an interesting situation because this school for about 25 years was left to die, and now all of a sudden you're kind of starting to see. A resurgence of the fact that, the faculty is great. We all work together. You're beginning to see a lot of alumni who are in businesses across the community are coming back and say, hey, what can we do to help? A lot of them work at our game. A lot of them do our chains. And then a lot of them have, just gone out of their way to do fundraisers for us. So we don't have a huge high school crowd, but what we were beginning to see is a lot of people coming back and coming to the game. And seeing a better product. It's like anything else. if you're not getting it done, you don't sit around and complain about it. You have a better product, and that's what. When I got here a few years ago, and they were complaining about we don't have this, well then let's have a better product, and the kids will come, and they're beginning to come.
Tell me about your team's schedule this year. Obviously, there were some conference realignment moves in the off season. So tell me about what your team's schedule looks like this year, non-conference, and of course we've been in conference, and maybe some games that your team's looking forward to.
Okay, we moved into a new conference, and so totally different from what we had the previous 2 years. Our non-conference games are against Dardanelle, and I really think Dardanelle in 4A is going to be very, very good. They've had to sit 5A for 2 years, so now they're battle tested. Quarterback comes back, tailback, receiver comes back. They're all 3 quality guys, and got strong guys up front. So I think, in all honesty, we might play our toughest game the first game of the year, and then we go to Mino. And it was interesting when we got them on the schedule and start talking to them. They're kind of the same boat we were. They've been playing 2 years ago. They played with a bunch of sophomores. Last year they played with a bunch of juniors, and now they've got all these seniors, very similar to us, well-coached group, and we've got to go there. So I think those first 2 games are really going to be tough. Our other one is against Lake Village, is on our schedule, and that'll be our 3rd game. And then we go into conference, and I think our conference is a lot like we're all kind of the same. You know, when you go to the conference, Heber Springs has a new coach, Forest City has a new coach, Lone Oak has a new coach, CAC has a new coach, Mills is in there, but they lost a lot from last year. And I'm sure I'm leaving Riverview, Bald Knob. Those are two teams that are. Bald Knob was a playoff team last year, so. And they all, all the coaches do a good job. You can tell they do a good job with the program. I think they're all kind of in different situations and different levels of maturity-wise. And so it should be an interesting year. And it really could come down to maybe who had the better off-season. Because, whoever's farther along with their team, who's ever done more, it's going to be an interesting situation.
Mm-hmm. Tell me a little bit about just what you view the landscape of Central Arkansas football being right now. Obviously, Little Rock has a lot of history. They host the state championship game every year. They've had teams that have been in the state championship year after year. Parkview, Pulaski Academy, Little Rock Christian are in there pretty often, and that's just to name a couple. So tell me about where you see your team in that landscape, and just what your team, how your team feels about being a part of the Central Arkansas football.
Well, I mean, I always like being a part of this big city in the state, and so our deal with it was when I was here, I was hired to be a 3A or 4A head coach in charge of engineering and biomedical school. It was supposed to be an academic school and everything else, and that's kind of where we're headed. Does that mean we can't have good football? Absolutely not. You can have good football and be 3A, 4A, and you can have guys. Porter Aikens is going to play college football soon, and Hayden's got a good chance. Dickerson's got a good chance. Rico, there's a few others in there. So there's plenty. I think the deal with Little Rock is we've got to come to a decision, especially in Little Rock School District. Are we or are we not going to try to make our middle school programs better? And if we're all in on making the middle school programs better, well then you're going to see more kids play. There's all sorts of kids walking the hallways playing football right now. And they may or may not be college football players, but they can definitely help your high school team. And they're walking all over, all of the high schools. So, you got to make a decision. Are we going to do that or not? Because let's be honest with you, you're looking at PA and Little Rock Christian and some of the other ones, they're making a commitment in middle school. So we need to step our game up. I think as far as like what Brad's doing at Little Rock Parkview, Brad's making a commitment to it, and they're putting a good product. I think Southwest made a good hire with Coach Lewis, and he's all in. He's in the same boat I am, except he plays in a lot tougher conference. Coach Robinson at Central's in the same boat. they're trying to revive programs and they're trying to do it in the toughest conference in the state. And so, but I think eventually they're going to get there. It's going to take a little time to get there, but those are quality guys and they're quality coaches, and they'll get that done. What we're doing here is, we're creating a place that's a 4A high school. It's a small high school, like I said, but I've got 2 coaches. My 2 assistants are ex-head coaches. So I think we've got a good quality product. I think we'll get better as we go. We're picking up traction as we go. We just need to put it all together. But I think on the whole, I think it's getting better in Little Rock schools as far as football. People talk about how many guys are playing Division I football for Little Rock School District. Well, you can't compare that to 20 years ago because the landscape's different because of private schools, and then you've got Benton and Bryant and Conway are elevated. So, I think there's kids there to do it. I think we have to have a better product, and we have a better product, and we get this good out. But I think on the whole, everything's going pretty good.
Last question for you, Coach. What would you and your team and your staff have to accomplish this season for you to walk away and consider it a successful year?
I think we need to go to the playoffs. I think first we need to string some wins together. One of the things, the issue we had in the previous conference we were in with the Clinton and Harmony Grove and Blackside, they were older, and they all came from very, very good programs. They all did a lot off season. They were very strong. They were very well coached, disciplined, the whole bit. That was tough on us because we weren't as old. I think we're running the same thing in this conference, but I think we're older now, and I think we're better suited now to play 4A football. It's still going to be tough because we still have a depth issue. But for me personally, I think the same way with the kids and the coaches. Our goal is to get the playoffs, and that's our first goal. No matter what, to get the playoffs, and then go from there.
All right, this has been an interview with Coach Jim Withrow here at Hall High School in Little Rock.
Thanks again for joining us on the Arkansas Sports Network's Hometown Sports Football Preview. Don't forget to like and subscribe to the Arkansas Sports Network on YouTube to catch more previews and all the latest updates on your favorite teams.